You're studying, and yet you feel like you're not making any progress. Just a second, because this could change everything. If you've ever spent hours staring at content, only to forget almost everything afterward, then this is about you. And no, it's not a lack of discipline. There's something wrong with the way you're trying to learn, and nobody told you that. Now tell me, how many times have you promised yourself that this time it will be different, and ended up in the same cycle? Tiredness, frustration, doubt. But that stops today. Because in the next few minutes you're going to understand the invisible error that's holding your brain back, and how to fix it immediately. So do this. Leave a like now because that helps this video reach those who are also stuck in this cycle, and subscribe because what you're going to hear here can completely change the way you learn. And if you ignore that, you'll keep studying without ever improving. Now pay attention. You're studying it wrong. And the worst part, you don't even notice. You sit down, open the material, he stays there for hours. And in the end, the feeling is always the same. Tiredness, frustration, and that silent thought that begins to gnaw at you. Why am I not evolving? You see other people moving forward, passing tests, understanding things that seem impossible to you. And that's where the comparison comes in, the doubt. And then, the disguised resignation. It's not that you stop studying. You continue, but without power, lack of trust, without believing that it will actually work. And this is where almost everyone gets lost, because it seems the problem is a lack of discipline, lack of focus, lack of effort, but it isn't. In truth, the more you try this way, the worse you get, the worse it becomes. You are training your brain, not learning. Think about it. Have you ever spent hours reading something, and when you close the book, you don't remember anything? Or maybe he attended an entire class, and the next day it's like you never saw it before? Or worse, you understand right away, but you can't apply it afterwards. That's not a lack of intelligence. This is a process error, a silent mistake that almost nobody notices, and that's destroying your learning. Every day, your brain doesn't learn from consumption. He learns through effort, but not just any effort, worthwhile effort. And this is where everything changes, because what you call studying, most of the time, is just passive consumption. You read, you watch, you underline, and he feels that he is being productive. But it isn't. This gives a false sense of progress. It's comfortable. It's easy. It's even addictive. Because it doesn't demand anything from you. But the brain works in a different way. He needs tension. He needs a challenge. He needs to make mistakes, try, correct, to create real memories. Without that, nothing is fixed. And now comes the part that might bother you. The more you avoid this difficulty, the slower you learn, the more you learn. The way you're studying, not only is it inefficient, how is it keeping you trapped? You are not moving forward slowly. You're going around in circles. And the most dangerous thing, that's because it erodes their confidence. Because you start to believe that the problem is you, that you are not capable. He wasn't born for this. But the truth is different. You were simply taught incorrectly. Always. School taught you how to memorize, not to learn, to be repeated, not to think. And this creates a pattern that you carry with you for life. And it sabotages you, without you even realizing it. Now let me show you what really works. And it's simpler than it seems. But it requires something you might be avoiding. Discomfort. Because learning for real, it's uncomfortable. The first thing you need to do, it's about stopping the habit of just consuming, and begin to recover. Recover from memory. Without looking, without help, no glue. Do you study a subject? Close everything, and try to explain. In your own words, do zero. You're going to freeze. You'll forget about it. You're going to make a mistake. Perfect. That's exactly what makes the brain learn. Every time you try to pull up some information, and can't, the brain understands. This is important. I need to emphasize this. And then, he reinforces that. Now compare that to what you do today. You read. Really. Watch it again. And never really test it. Never put yourself at risk. Never strain your brain. Result? Nothing is fixed. Now imagine changing that. Imagine studying for less time, but with much more intensity. Imagine leaving a study session, tired, but clear-headed, knowing that you really learned something. This is what happens when you change the method. Another thing that's holding you back. It's about studying for a certain amount of time. I'm going to study for 2 hours. That seems right, but it isn't, because the focus becomes meeting deadlines, not learning. And that's where you're mistaken. Is there? physically present, but mentally absent. The right thing to do is to study with a specific goal in mind. I'll only stop when I understand this. Simple. Direct. No escape. No self-deception. And that changes everything. Because now you are committed to results. Not looking like you're trying too hard. Another silent trap. It's too easy to study. You review what you already know. You stay in the comfortable zone. Because it gives a sense of progress. But this doesn't evolve. Growth comes from what you don't know. What do you avoid? What's holding you back? So if you want to learn quickly, it starts with the difficult part. What are you putting off? What are you running away from? That's where the progress lies. Now let me show you what happens if you ignore all of this. You continue studying in the same way. Same time. Same effort. Same frustration. And time passes. Months. Years. And you still feel like you're in the same place. Seeing others going ahead. While you are trying. But it doesn't go anywhere. And that's tiring. It wears you down. And then, an hour, you start to give up. Not in an obvious way. But internally. You stop really trying. And he accepts less than he could. Now look at another scenario. You change today. Start small. But that's right. You stop just consuming. And starts testing. Stop studying for time. And focuses on understanding. Stop running away from what's difficult. And faces it head on. It will be strange at first. Uncomfortable. Even slower. But then, something changes. You start to remember more. Understand faster. Connecting ideas. And most importantly, you regain confidence in yourself. Because now you're seeing results. Real. No illusion. And that's addictive. But unlike an addiction that traps you, this will set you free. Now let me tell you something you need to hear. You're not stupid. You are not incapable. You're just using the wrong method. And this is the best possible news. Because the method, you change it. Now the question is simple. You're going to continue studying the same way, knowing that it doesn't work. Or will you accept the discomfort? And finally, truly learn? The choice is yours. But time doesn't stop. And every day studying wrong. It's one more day further away from the result you want. So decide. Today. Because either you change now, or he remains imprisoned, thinking that it's making progress. When in reality, you're only fooling yourself. If you've made it this far, you've already realized it wasn't a lack of effort. It was just the way it was. Now the question is, are you going to apply it, or go back to the same cycle tomorrow? If this opened your mind, leave a like. That's how this content reaches those who need to get out of this rut. Subscribe now because the next video might be exactly what you need to finally unlock your potential. And remember this, you don't need to study more, you just need to stop studying the wrong way.